For over 4 decades, he's been the architect behind British boxing's biggest nights. The man who doesn't throw punches, but makes the world watch them. Frank Warren isn't just a promoter, he's a kingmaker. From Tyson Fury to Joe Calzaghe, from Ricky Hatton to Daniel Dubois, every generation of British greatness has passed through his empire. He's built legacies, brokered history, and turned talent into global superstardom. And while the fighters step into the ring, Frank controls the stage. Power, prestige, and billions in motion. So, before we step inside the mind, the money, and the mastery of boxing's ultimate puppet master, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Because this isn't just business. This is Frank Warren's fight empire. Born on February 28, 1952, in Islington, London, he didn't come from money or influence, just fire. A hustler's spirit, a sharp mind, and an eye for talent became his weapons. While others dreamed of titles, he dreamed of empires. By the late 70s, he was already staging small fights in smoky halls, not knowing those nights would one day evolve into global spectacles under the Queensberry banner. But greatness never comes easy. In 1989, a gunman's bullet tore through his chest, a near-fatal moment that could have ended everything. Instead, it became his rebirth. From that day forward, Frank Warren didn't just promote fights, he fought fate itself. He built stars like Prince Nassim Hamed, Joe Calzaghe, and Tyson Fury, men who defined eras under his watchful eye. He changed the game with Box Nation, rewrote business models, and stood toe-to-toe with corporate giants like Eddie Hearn. Decades of risk, reinvention, and landmark deals have left him with an empire worth £18 million, about $22.6 million, earned not just from pay-per-views and purses, but from media, merchandising, and a lifelong knack for spotting the next big thing. And yet, behind the money, the belts, and the power plays, one question lingers. How did a streetwise kid from Islington become the godfather of British boxing? His story begins in the gritty heart of London, far from the bright lights of arenas. A solicitor's clerk by trade, he was never meant for the spotlight, until one fateful call changed everything. His cousin, Lenny McLean, had lost a fight and wanted revenge, but couldn't find a promoter. Warren stepped in, not knowing that decision would ignite one of the most powerful careers in boxing history. From smoky halls and unlicensed bouts to glittering main events, Warren built his empire fight by fight. His first licensed show came in 1980 at the Bloomsbury Crest Hotel. 2 unknown heavyweights, no crowd, no hype. But behind the scenes was a mind learning how to move the pieces. When TV cameras were blocked from airing his first event, he didn't quit. He adapted. Soon after, the BBC came calling, giving him his first televised fight. The rest, as they say, was destiny, written in punches and pay-per-views. By the mid-1980s, he had become a name whispered across the sport. He didn't just manage fighters, he built stars. And while he built champions inside the ring, Warren was quietly revolutionizing the sport outside it. In 2011, he launched Box Nation, the UK's first dedicated boxing channel, a bold move that gave fans 24/7 access to premium fights. Through Queensberry Promotions, he forged partnerships with global brands like Top Rank and staged mega events across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Even in his 70s, the fight never left him. In 2024, Warren led Team Queensberry into the groundbreaking 5v5 face-off against rival promoter Eddie Hearn in Riyadh. It was more than just a contest, it was a clash of eras. Warren's team didn't just win, they dominated. A clean sweep, 10-0. The old lion proving he still ruled the jungle. And in 2025 at the Sports Industry Award in London, Frank Warren received the Lifetime Achievement Award, recognition of over 4 decades spent shaping champions, defying odds, and rewriting what it means to be a boxing promoter. But beneath all the success, the sold-out arenas, the TV empires, the millions earned, one truth remains. Frank Warren was never just promoting fights. He was promoting stories. Far from the chaos of fight nights, he lives in a world defined by precision, prestige, and control. His home, A 2 million-pound mansion in Hertfordshire stands like a fortress of calm amid the noise of his empire. Elegant, guarded, timeless. It's where strategy replaces adrenaline, and the man who commands the biggest names in boxing finally breathes in peace. Inside, the details whisper wealth, not in gold or glitter, but in craftsmanship. The marble floors, the framed memories of world title nights, the stillness of a man who's seen it all, yet still hungers for more. And when he steps out into the world, he moves with the quiet dominance of a man who's earned it. His Bentley Continental GT, sleek, powerful, and handcrafted, isn't just a car, it's a statement. The kind of luxury that commands respect without saying a word. Then there's the Range Rover Autobiography, his go-to for countryside escapes and business travel. It's the vehicle of a strategist, spacious, unshakable, and built for command. For the city, he prefers the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, smooth, understated, and timelessly elegant. It's the car of a man who values precision and control above all else, gliding through London's streets with the same composure he brings to the boardroom. But perhaps nothing captures his essence like his watch collection, particularly the masterpiece that made headlines in 2024, the Ring of Fire timepiece, worth £630,000, one of only 3 ever made, created to commemorate the undisputed heavyweight clash between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. It's not just a watch, it's a story forged in the fire of boxing history, worn by the man who helped shape it. For Warren, luxury has never been about excess. It's about meaning. Every possession a reminder of the empire he built, every detail a reflection of endurance and elegance. Because when you've spent a lifetime building legends, you learn that real power doesn't shout, it simply exists. Behind the business deals, bright lights, and billion-pound bouts lives a man defined not by fame, but by family. Frank Warren's personal life mirrors his empire, built on loyalty, legacy, and quiet strength. He lives in Shep Hall, Hertfordshire, with his wife, Susan Warren, a former Vogue model whose grace has been a steady anchor through decades of triumphs and trials. Through every storm, Susan remained as calm, standing beside him while he built one of boxing's greatest empires. Together, they've raised 6 children, and for Frank, family isn't just personal, it's legacy. Several of his children have followed his path, helping shape the next era of boxing from within his promotional empire. Outside the ring, his heart beats for Arsenal FC and for the sport that gave him everything. In 2023, he joined the board of Boxwise, a youth boxing charity guiding young people toward discipline and purpose. His name will forever echo through the halls of British boxing, not just as a promoter, but as a pioneer who transformed the sport itself. From smoky backrooms to sold-out arenas, he built empires from grit, discovered legends, and turned fighters into global stars. His creation, Queensberry Promotions, became more than a brand. It became a legacy of excellence, vision, and resilience. And as the lights dim and the crowd fades, one truth remains. Frank Warren didn't just promote boxing, he defined it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of a true boxing mogul, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss another story about the legends who built the fight game.